Hello everyone, I thought we'd have a little go trying something a little bit different. I am going to attempt to build a level. So first, let me show you the level. We press play, and here we are. It is MetaHuman, the one that actually made it, like I said in my previous video, having a little I won't say technical difficulty, but definitely technical limitations here and there, which is all good. My Mac Mini M1, don't say that 10 times fast, is more than capable. It is a powerful little machine. This one's got 16 gigs. It's all good. But every machine has its purpose, and since I use mine mostly for video editing and for getting all sorts of writing done and Photoshop, it's more than able. It's more than capable. But when I wanted to make a switch from coding to doing a little bit of gaming, it turned out to be more than capable too. It is just that if you want it to be at like PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5 levels, then you're definitely going to have some issues. So this is the tale of the Chengbao, tale of the castle, and that's because this is a castle. No, not really. What we are going to do is we're going to use one of the Epic Games Unreal Engine asset packs, the one from September, which is a stylized Chinese village, which really reminds me of that one time I got to visit the Forbidden City in Beijing. Maybe I can find that video in just a little bit, but hey, check out these parts. So every month there's free assets that Epic makes available in the Epic Marketplace, and some time ago, before I actually fired up the Unreal Engine, I became aware of this, and I just downloaded it every first Tuesday of the month. I just started making sure I added them to my cart, and I got them for free so that they're in my library for that one time I knew in the future I would want to have a go at the Unreal Engine. I would have my own library of free assets ready to go. So here you can see the demo level of the assets all put together, playing live in the editor. I think the frame rate is just below 30, but looks pretty smooth. Let's go inside, let's check it out and see if we can get some inspiration on how we're going to put these assets to use. I'm thinking I'm going to apply some of the things I've learned with how to make master material instances, so you can live edit in the editor or just play around with the because I think they have that all in a separate folder I saw, just to see how I can mod things, like maybe change the color of the walls, like making it a little bit more my own. Oh, almost fell there. So I died here last time, and I think it's because there's a hidden... This is embarrassing. I think it's because there's a hidden hot zone of some sorts. Alright. So let's do that one more time, now that I've given you my little speech about what's happening. So I want to put this little village together. There we go. Can I just jump here? Do I have air control? I think I do. Yeah. Oh. Alright. So I really want to have this experience of crawling out of my dev kit gray box shell and open it up to this village here with the asset pack. You know? I want that. I want to have that little experience of like, oh, check this out. So here we are. this is where we're going to start building. So we hit escape, and I'm going to say goodbye, as rendering and all this is going to take a little bit too much time otherwise. I'll just, how do I turn this off? Oh God. And of course I forgot to hit record. So I've just been busy putting a whole bunch of stuff in. So let's get rid of the grid to make things a little bit more manageable. And then let me just show you. See, I'm kind of trying to hide what is there. Like you'll get a glimpse above the wall, and then you have to make your way through here. Let's close that up. Right? Let's see, is there actually space here for you to go through? I don't think so. So you'll have to make your way through and then go up here again. And so it's nice and hidden, and then it opens up to the castle. So how are we going to do this? What can I say? I've made some huge mistakes in the last 2 attempts. And they basically amount to, as you're watching my 3rd attempt, I tried blocking out a level for my character to walk around in. I wanted that level to have like castle-y walls that obscure the view, so that once you make your way through this little maze, it opens up, and instead of these gray developer materials, you walk into this beautiful stylized Asian village, right? And then I get to play learning new tricks used in the course, how to position cameras, how to get to move it around, and render a scene with probably a lot less people than you're looking at right now. Coffee. Then, noticing that things were running a little choppy in the editor while I was making recordings, I thought maybe I can optimize, and I learned a few things about merging actors, and an actor in Unreal Engine is anything that you can put on screen. And I learned that you can make one mesh out of all the different meshes you have, and that cuts down on render draw calls or something. Basically, every time you add objects to your scene, that's an object that has to be, loaded into the memory and to be used by the engine and kept track of. If you simply build one big mesh that is static anyway, you should be able to just merge that. Now, as I'm putting together this I don't know exactly what I did wrong, but I imagine when I returned to my own level and everything was gone, the merged actor was gone, and I couldn't find it anywhere, I imagine that the thing that I did wrong was not save correctly. Not just the level, but I had merged all the blocks, and unlike with the Asian village, which I also attempted to merge everything just to see what texture work and the materials and all that, they're saved accordingly, which is awesome. I didn't know that was possible. Unlike with that level, every time you merge something, I saw it pop up in the content library in a folder. Because one of the strange things was, and this is clearly a setting that I haven't discovered yet, is that when you merge things, what you're looking at on screen doesn't become merged. You merge it and it gets saved in a folder, and then you have to put that in to replace the things on screen, unless you find this setting. And in that case, and I think this is only in like when you're modeling, but there's definitely a setting where what you're merging on screen actually becomes merged, or it makes a duplicate separate on screen, or it's merged and saved in a folder. Like, you have more options. So that did not appear in my own level. What also didn't work out for me is that in the Asian village, when I merged all that and everything seemed to work, as soon as I hit play, the player start area widget was like over here, And then my metahuman was like down here and would fall through the map and would fall into oblivion. So I managed to catch him by placing some blocks underneath. However, yeah, that still, I still couldn't, after an hour, I just realized, I'm having another one of those moments where I need to just let go. I tried something, it didn't work out. I tried it again, it didn't work out. This is something I'll figure out somewhere down the line, and I need to stop spending more than an hour trying to fix this and get back to my coursework. And if I insist on building this level, then I'm going to have to build it again. But there's always that pain, And we are back again. This time it is our fourth build. And yes, yet again, I had to try something out and it didn't quite pan out as I expected. After watching a tutorial on how to model inside Unreal Engine, everything was lined up. I had all the blocks in place for the level, and I thought I'd just use the polygroup tool to move it around a little bit to create a slope on this big block I have at the end. And as you can see, it caused all of the blocks to get skewed. Now I don't know why it did that on all of them. Clearly it treated them as one group, so it meant editing all of them as a group rather than just that one block. I actually kind of like it in some of the parts, like over here where everything is just kind of, falling, which seems appropriate. Yeah, in some parts it's kind of cool, but in other parts I had to come up with a solution, because clearly, as you saw me walk through some of the rectangles, the collision is now off as well. And why that is, again, I'm just learning this stuff, I don't know yet. But I thought I'd have a go trying out some other things. One, I wanted to see if I could change the developer material into something I saw in a dev video by an Icelandic studio that just looked kind of cool. So I just messed around with some of the colors in the material instance, and that kind of came out all right. So we're keeping that in. Might even add another one. And we're gonna try something different. Instead of one for the fourth or fifth time already putting the level back together again, I wanted to use the cube grid. So cube grid is a tool in the modeling section of Unreal Engine, which you can get to quickly by pressing Shift 5. It's a little tricky to find. You'll see it on screen right now, highlighted in blue. And what it does is give you what I think of as SketchUp controls. You know that program by Google that allows you to put together 3D models with this really super easy to grasp user interface? That's kind of what this is. With keyboard shortcuts and everything. It's a little confusing to set it up because it needs something to start off with. So you just put a cube on screen, and it can't be the cube from the plus sign on the top of your screen. It has to be a primitive from the modeling section on the left side of the screen. And once you do that, another thing that you kind of have to get over that is confusing is that the WASD controls for moving around, the Q and E for up and down are now actually up and down, or add or subtract in this modeling tool. But once you get the hang of this, it's basically you click somewhere on the grid after you hit subscribe, So you basically, anywhere you select on the grid, you select somewhere else while holding down shift, so you get a bigger rectangle, and then you can just use the Q and E to add or subtract and make blocks appear, very much like SketchUp. Another very cool trick that you can do is that once you've got a selection, a rectangle, if you hit Z, you get to go into the corner mode and select which one or more corners you want to highlight. And then when you do add or subtract with Q and E, you create slopes super easily. So again, it's a little finicky to get going because you have to stop in a certain way so that it actually stays on screen and you don't accidentally delete it. Once you get into the swing of things, you can get something up and running very quickly in a way that is easier to grasp than regular 3D modeling if you're not familiar with that. Now, the only downside I see with this is that instead of putting blocks down in a level and just blocking out the level, and then having these blocks all separate so that you can move them around as you discover playing your level that, you know, like you're not able to make a certain jump or it's simply too hard, you're going to lose that ability unless you put separate primitives down for each attempt to use QGrid to make the mesh. Because otherwise, like what you end up doing, which is what I was doing right here, is you just create one big mesh for all these separate blocks, and it's actually just one big object, which is fine once you've already blocked it out, like I had done here 4 times already, because I kept screwing it up. So yeah, but as you can see here, there's loads of things you can do. It's not just like you can create slopes. You can actually rotate the grid itself. You can move the grid around when it doesn't align with the blocks you already have in place. There's lots of really cool little features. Like once you get the hang of it, you know. Yeah, this is me playing through the 4th build of the level with the new material that I created as well. It's looking pretty cool. Quite like where this is going. I'm keeping some of the blocks in place. I did have to put my new mesh block inside of some of them because otherwise you could just walk through or fall through. That was a bit of a trial and error. I hope I will never have to make these mistakes again, so I can just, you know, get it right on the first or second run instead of, you know, with my hour a day, 2 hours a day at most in my spare time. You know, this is easily like a week of working on something in my spare time that you're looking at. Hey everyone, this is me just rambling on. Okay, we got this. So just to wrap things up, because this video has taken a while today to put together, and I don't think we'll have more time to finish working on the Chinese village. I mean, I'd love to, but I really don't know what's going to happen right now because we've got this super typhoon. I think it's called Noru in English, but it's Karding, and it is already overhead, and we're hoping everything's going to be fine and that we're not going to be out of power. But just in case the power cuts out and my internet cuts out, I want to wrap up this video, and we'll just have to say to be continued. So I hope you like what you see. I hope you like the conversation. about how I've been learning how to put all this together. If you have any questions, be sure to drop them below. But in the meantime, yeah, let's see where this goes. And I will talk to you guys next time when we'll have a village for you to look at. And till then.